In this tutorial we'll have a look at the help and support resources behind the Rhino app. When you first sign up, the first thing you'll see when you log in is the diary screen, and at the top of it there's a getting started section. Two very useful resources. The first is there's a quick start user guide. And this doesn't assume anything. It'll point out where the menu is. It'll show you how to add a record, how to amend a record, how to delete a record. So it's well worth looking at. The next thing you can do, which is something we've invested a lot in, is the embedded tutorials. So there's a product overview, and these are done in the format of a phone. So this particular video will talk you through the basics. How to enter in your first contacts, how to import them from your phone, how to create your first invoice, how to capture your first expense, because these are the operations that most people want to perform when they first start using the Rhino app. Once you're familiar with this, and this is all about covering the basics, and you want to use the full screen, you can just click on Hide. At any point in time, if you want to reference this again, you just click on the little person icon, go into your personal settings, and enable the Getting Started section. And it appears again. Okay, so the next thing we'll look at is if you're in a particular feature. So maybe I'm looking at estimates, for example. And what you'll see is a little question mark pop up at the top of the screen, and once again if you click on that there's an embedded tutorial which will show you how this particular feature works. The whole philosophy is that you can get the support for exactly what you're using with one click. That's what we're trying to achieve within the app. You don't need to go to forums or to blogs. The answer should be one click away. Okay, there's also a help section, so if you click on help, and there's the usual user guide, so how to personalize your instance, notes on terminology, how to configure the system appearance, and those sections are all organized around the different features that are available within Rhino. But this is probably the most powerful section, which is the Get Support option. This section gives you a list of frequently asked questions. So if I, for example, go to estimate, how do I configure and use the sales? How can I create an invoice based on an estimate? How can I delete an estimate? How can I add a new estimate? And if you click on those, there'll be instructions, and there'll also be an embedded video. So once again, the answer's always just a couple of clicks away. This is particularly useful for features that you may not have enabled, but you are curious about how it might be able to work in your organization. You can also click on the Open section. This is only available for paying customers, and you can add a new question. And once you submit the question, we will respond to it, and then you can see a list of all the questions you've asked in the past, so if you ever need to reference them again. And typically we will provide an answer to your query. We may attach a little video, or we may also put an attachment in the form of a little mini user guide. So the philosophy behind this is that you as a customer should be able to get support for exactly what you're trying to achieve. It should be one click away, and it should be available to you 24 hours a day. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and we'll catch you on the next one.